quick how-to video. This is your Bitunix account, and to get anything into Bitunix, you do not buy crypto on Bitunix. You send it from a different exchange. So use anything as let's say you have Kraken, um, Coinbase. I use crypto.com. It's very simple. You can move over any crypto you want. Most of the time I use Solana. So just go over to Sol and you type in, there's a little search button here. Once you see it, whatever crypto you want, you slide to the right and it'll have a deposit. Click deposit. And that's going to give you the address you need, right? And the thing I use about Solana is that it's always the Solana network. So you really can't mess that up. And you just sit here and hit copy. Now another easy one to use, right? Here's your copy, here's your address. You can take that address and then use it to send over. Another simple one to use, which I like to use as well, is very easy. It is USDC, right? USDC. And all you do there is basically same thing. You hit deposit, and I just use the base network. So normally with these, like here it'll say networks, I just go down to base, keeps it simple. And then when you send it from whatever wallet you're sending, you would pick that you're using the base network, and then you would use this address. But that is also why I also recommend, when you're new and you're starting to learn, something like Solana is really hard to mess up. All right, so what you would do is go to crypto.com. You would connect your bank account, obviously. You would buy Solana. So say buy $500 worth of Solana, right? That goes into your crypto.com, and then you go to transfer and move it to a different area, or send it, as we say. And then you would just pick up Solana in this little box here, and then go to deposit and get your Solana. Now Solana is always going to be on the Solana network, so that's why it's really hard to mess that up. So I recommend using that simply because it's the only network. So when it says what network, it's just the Solana network. Copy your address, go over to your crypto.com. And the one thing you want to do here is every time you post your address, you just want to make sure that the first two letters are right and the last two things are right, right? So here would be BZ and 05. So when I paste this into my for addresses that I'm withdrawing to from my crypto.com account, I just want to make sure it's BZ and 05. And that's pretty much it. You can go ahead and send it away. Now, once you have that, it'll end up in your spot. Now, I do want to kind of say to you guys, before you send anything, you're practicing. Let's say you're sending 500 bucks. Go ahead and send $10 just to do a test, to make sure it pops up here, and then you know what you're doing. If it shows up, it'll be right here in Solana. And whatever crypto you get, it'll be right here. Now, all you have to do in order to do futures is there's a top here that says deposit, withdraw, and transfer. When you click transfer, you can see that it wants to use USDT and all these other things. So we use USDT when we actually transfer over to futures. So any crypto that you have here that you want to put into futures, let's say like this Ethereum, I have $19, right? And I have, see how I have 0 USDT right here, 67 cents. So I'm going to sell my, or trade my Ethereum, and which is just selling it. Anytime you sell something, you have two options here, limit order and market price. Now, if you choose limit order, you're just going to have to make sure the current limit order is higher than the price. But let's say that I'm hitting sell and I want to sell all of it, right? So I'm going to put 100% there. The current price is 2,168. I need to make sure that if I'm doing a limit order, that the price I'm selling is higher than that. So I'm going to put 2,170. I'm going to hit sell Ethereum. And you can see down here the order goes in. And right now what it's doing, it's trying to find a bunch of people that, you know, are willing to, you know, buy the Ethereum at that price, right? It's a little bit higher than the current market. And a lot of times you guys will do that and then you don't get a sell in there. So what you want to do is you can cancel that out. To get rid of it quicker, just make sure the price is lower than the current price. So it's 22,168. Let's make it 2,166. And now that it's lower, we'll be able to sell it pretty quickly. You can see there's no open orders here that I need to cancel because the order went through. Now once I do that, I head over to spot, and on spot you can see right there there's now going to be $20 in USDT, which then I can transfer over to my futures. And all I want to make sure is that the from is from spot to the futures. And I would, if I'm sending all of it, I send it. If I'm sending a specific amount, then I hit it and then I submit it. And that's pretty much it. So once I do that, it will end up in my futures account, which will allow me to then make trades, right? And it'll pop up here in this available margin. Just like if you were here sitting here, you were making a current trade, and you can see here I have 597 available for the next trades that I'm doing. You can hit the transfer button here. You don't have to go to spot, and then you can see here from spot to future, I have the option to send that 20 bucks. I click it and it'll show up in there, and vice versa. If I want to send back, all I have to do is hit transfer and then swap this from futures on top to spot, and I can send all my USDT back to my spot account for purchasing other things, or just, let's say if I'm sending my profits that I make back over to spot, so that way they're not in this wallet and I don't end up messing up my calculations, right? So a lot of times, let's say if you're trading $100 bags or $200 bags, then what you would do here is you would just transfer out the extra money that you don't have. So let's say if I want to make sure the next trade I do is 200, my available margin is 597. All I do here is I go here, swap it, put $400 out from futures to spot, send it, and now I'm left with an available margin of 197, right? So the next time I do a trade, if I do 100% of what I have left, it'll be the 197 into the next trade that I'm doing, and so forth. Now if I want to bring that money back, all I have to do is go here, spot to futures, go ahead and bring it all over. Boop, we're going to do 100% of it. And it'll show up right there, available margin. So there you go. It's that easy to move money back and forth for your Bitunix account. So very easy to move money, transfer it over, back and forth, etc. And that is how you set up the basics. Now let's say if we're going into a trade, right? Pick the coin up here. Once you pick your coin, we're going to stick with Solana. Once you have your Solana coin picked, you're going to change this little box here from cross to isolated. The reason why you do that is because you don't want it to continue to take money from other accounts. Cross means it keeps crossing money over until you're out of money, right? That's why there's no like liquidation on crosses. Isolated means whatever you put into the trade and you put for stop loss, it is what it responds on. Now, let's say if I want to make a trade here and I want to get in here to this trade, you're always going to pick your margin here. This is your isolated margin, your leverage, whatever you want to have. You confirm it, and then once you do that, I'm always on limit orders. So let's say if I'm getting in here, my current price is 91.49. It's less than the current price that is in there, but that'll allow me to put a limit order in a different area that'll be lower than the current price. So this way, if I'm doing limit orders, I can set the price I want to hit, which would be these lower areas here, to allow me to get in. And it's that simple, right? And then that's pretty much it. And then once you set your order, you always head over to your TP and stop loss, and here you can adjust the margins to what you want. Make sure that you put it on buy ROI, right? Return on investment, simply because you want to, when you slide this, you want to know exactly what you're doing here. So at 30%, I lose 48 bucks. At 45% stop loss, I lose 74, etc. And then take profit, same thing. 30% would be 42 bucks, 60% would be 100, 90% would be 151, etc., etc. That's how you set that up, guys. Pretty simple, very easy to do. But yeah, there's your full tutorial of how to use your Bitunix account. It's pretty simple. Once you get going, use the same formats. If you do place orders and you don't see them, you can go to your open orders here, And if you need to cancel anything, you can cancel all these. These open orders here, you can see they're in the section that says TP and SL, because this is my stop loss and my take profit. Positions are the ones that are actually open that we're trading live currently, guys. Yeah. And then you have your order history, position history, trade history, etc. So do a little thing in there. Get you guys a little section where you kind of test that around a little bit, and you can slide these. So let's say if I want to get into a trade and it's lower than the price in it, I'm like, oh, I couldn't get it in. I can slide this up, and it'll then make the purchase for me. Just like you can adjust your stop loss here if you have a specific amount that you like, well, you know what, I'm okay with losing up to the 100, and then you can slide it where you need it to be. So you can drag these as well. These limit orders you can drag where you want, as long as there's extra money there to cover the difference in whatever position that it's in. But that's it, guys. That's your full tutorial. Good luck. God bless. Hope that helps you out, man, guys. Have a good